Hopefully this Devin Booker hamstring injury is not too severe for them, especially if the Suns want to make it to the NBA Finals in back-to-back years. They're going to need their best player. That's obvious. But this injury, I mean, the Suns, here's the thing. The Suns are equipped to beat the Pels without Booker, but they ain't getting out the West without him. They need Devin Booker to have a legitimate chance at winning a championship. And he was cooking. I mean, before he got hurt, he had like 30-something points, I believe. Let me just look at the stats right here. He had 31 points in a half, 12 and 19 shooting. So he had the hot hand. And then all of a sudden he goes, transitions, tries to block, I believe who had the ball, but he tries to block a fast break, and he lands awkwardly. And you're like, uh-oh, you could tell his reaction. He knew something wasn't good. But then Brandon Ingram had it cooking. I mean, he's what dropped 37 points. He's a superstar in the making. But this injury right here, if it's anything that he had the first part of his other hamstring, I believe it was in his left leg that kept him out. He missed about 7-8 games with that. He can't miss that type of time, especially in the playoffs, because you get, 2-3 days, and then you back at it again. Before, the playoffs used to be you played every other night. Now, obviously, since there's more games, you play every 2-3 nights, but especially as the rounds continue to progress, it's going to be every other night and sometimes back-to-backs. And so you can't miss a whole lot of time. Like, lucky this is the first round, so he's going to have some time to get some recovery and some treatment on that hamstring injury. We just found out today from Woj that he's going most likely to miss game 3 and game 4 in New Orleans, but I don't think that's anything for the Suns to be worried about. But hopefully it's not like a tear, because those type of tears, hamstring tears, they take a while to heal, and especially they are a tricky injury to begin with. So hopefully they gonna need his scoring when it's looking like it's gonna be them to face the Dallas Mavericks in the second half. But give credit to the Pelicans, man. Willie Green is a hell of a coach. I mean, one thing about players, especially when you weren't a great player, you were a very solid player. You had a credible NBA career. You couldn't relate more to players because there's only going to be a handful of NBA players who are stars, face of the franchises, considered one of the greats of all time in the league. Those kind of people, you can't talk to them a certain way because they already have a massive ego. Willie Green was like, I was a role player in the NBA, but he can relate to about 13, 14 guys on that roster. And every time they have him mic'd up for the huddle, you can tell he's inspiring these players. He's relatable. He holds people accountable, and he's going to be one of the next great young coaches in this league. And I hope that the Pelicans and David Griffin don't do anything stupid like let him go, because you need to surround with some more talent, and hopefully you could keep Zion's fat ass healthy. But nonetheless, great coach that they got. Pelicans got a really nice core. Been hearing some rumors that Zion may be unhappy if he decides he wants to up and leave and go to the Knicks or a big free market team in the future. Hopefully he'll possibly do that. You could build around Brandon Ingram. But this Devin Booker injury right here, give credit to the Pelicans. They played their butts off. They came back. They got a star veteran in CJ McCollum, who's going to bring leadership in the locker room and an extension of the coach, of Willie Green's voice on the court. But damn, hopefully this is not a long-term sustaining injury for Devin Booker, because they're going to need this boy's presence. He was a strong consideration too for MVP after when Chris Paul went down. He was missing about a month with that wrist injury. He was cooking. I mean, just averaging like 26, shooting better than 45% from the field. He couldn't be stopped. But again, when you're in the playoffs, no team wants to play without their best player, because that's who you run their offense around. So hopefully this injury is not to extent. But if it is, man, listen, the Pelicans, they're going to be a lot to handle, because now you gave this team confidence. They got the split. They did what they were supposed to do. They took home court advantage away from the Suns. And going back to New Orleans, man, that crowd can get rowdy. You don't want to lose a game 3 or game 4. Then you bring the pressure back to you guys. Like, okay, now we got to capitalize, because, yeah, you bring home court back to you as a 2-2 split. But Anything could happen. You could have a roll of an ankle. You can have somebody fall and break their wrist. I mean, knock on wood. I don't want this to happen, but anything can happen at any given moment in a playoff game, and you want to try to put this team away as quickly as possible because the series can turn just like that at the snap of a finger. So hopefully it's not something too serious and he could come back, but if it is, they're equipped to beat the Pels without him. But there's going to be more pressure on CP3 to kind of revert back to 2012, 2013 Clipper CP3 when he had to handle more of the scoring load. Cam Johnson is going to have to handle more of the scoring load. DeAndre Ayton is going to have to handle more of the scoring load. Jay Crowder can't give you a 1-1-1-1 night again. I mean, he's going to have to at least get you 10, 15 points to offset some of that scoring load that Devin Booker provided to the team. So they're going to have to work cut out for them against this Pelicans team. Hopefully he'll come back maybe game 5, game 6, and they can close it out in that fashion in 5-6 games. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about this Devin Booker injury. Will this hurt them in defeating the Pelicans, or are they equipped to handle this injury, and can they potentially even come out the West without him? I mean, Golden State is just lighting up against Denver, and Memphis. Whoo, Memphis is, man, Memphis is, I don't know, man, Memphis is, I'm stuttering just finding words to describe Memphis. They the real deal. But Worlds TV, signing out. Catch you guys later. Peace.